Well, greetings to you. Hello, hello. And we're here for another open Q&A session, question and answer. And if you are watching this live, as always, you can just simply type in any question or comment right in the comment box, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube or on the other platforms that we're broadcasting out to. And I will respond to that question or comment here while we're live. Or the same thing, if you were watching this later as a replay, you can still type in your question or comment, and I will still get that, and I will bring that to our next session. So no question will get lost. It's just a question of when you are with me here. So the first question I'd like to start with today, and this is an extremely common question. It's just kind of come up as it often does. So I thought this would be a good day to address this again. And the question is really on the structure and the nature of our family discount, right? Treatment fee discount when we treat certain kind of families. Now, the I won't go too much into the specific mechanics of it. I mean, you will either know or you'll find out, if you're setting up your treatment plan, what kind, how that discount applies as far as the numbers, the economic values go. But I wanted to speak to a little bit of a deeper reason for that and the purpose, that we have around how we've set up that family discount that way. So the as far as the basic structure of it, as I say, without going exactly into the numbers, but just the structure for now, the whenever there is at least one parent, mother or father, or both, that are in their own treatment, any of their children are getting the family discount, while their treatment is going on. So it's not something you have to apply for or remind our receptionist about it. It'll happen automatically, right? Well, like our billing is built around that, and where that structure is happening, one parent or more and one child or more, that all the children get that discount. Now, as I say, the structure is pretty straightforward, but the reason is really what I wanted to talk about today. I mean, certainly, anybody may be interested in a discount for a variety of reasons, but we really wanted to focus it in this case, of a family discount because, for obvious, pure economic reasons, when there are multiple family members, you start to potentially see some more of an economic strain on that family as far as the fees go. So just a pure arithmetical or numerical thing of what how do those fees multiply with an ever increasing family size, right, from two to three and beyond, as those numbers go up. But so that's there. There's an obvious basic economic reason there, but even more so, the nature of Heilkunst treatment, the nature of health, in a family. Of course, every we can look at any individual on their own and treat their health, give them remedies and do all the things we do. But when it comes to, as I say, not just the individual, we all have our own individual health and our own issues and history and all the rest of it. In the family, however, you get you get kind of a broader field of health, right? It's yes, we are individuals, but we exist within a family. We exist within other social structures, a workplace, kind of a friend structure, what have you. These larger social units kind of share an energy together to a greater or lesser degree. Now, especially in the case of an immediate family, those connections are quite strong, and especially when we're talking about health. And from our perspective and our experience, that that family unit or that family energy structure, whatever we want to call this, especially to the degree the children are younger, in the youngest years, this is the most strong, and it starts to, of course, peter off, as the age of the child goes up, all the way, of course, up to age 18 to 21 or so, where they more or less kind of form an independent unit for themselves, their own fully formed adults, and as far as their consciousness, their health, their energy structure becomes more and more kind of unified as a single entity by about that age. Now, as I say, not even then, of course, we're never, as the old expression goes, "No man is an island." We're never 100% free of other people, But yes, we do have a very strong grounding in our individual independence by the time you reach around that age. But way before that, in all the childhood years, this is my point here, the strong ties and influence of that whole family matrix is profoundly important when we're trying to achieve a certain health goal with a child. And there are many examples. I might give one or two in a moment, but here's the thing too: is most people, including my patients, but including pretty much everyone, just in casual conversations I have with people, have a great underappreciation for what their level of health is. I'll rephrase that. They have um, a misunderstanding or a misdiagnosis of themselves as to how their health actually is. Many people, most people, will answer the question or say it in other implied ways that, oh yeah, I'm healthy and my diet is healthy and this and that is, everything is fine in my health, which may be true in many practical ways. But especially now when we get into the realm of treating children and what's going on in children's health and what's influencing them, there are potentially and often many deep and invisible layers going on in the parent's health, which are strongly influencing that child's health. And the parent has little to no consciousness of it. Sometimes they have a little consciousness, but often not any. Like it's just like, no, no, I'm healthy, and we get this kind of this worst case scenario of the child being essentially dropped off in our laps, saying, "Here, fix this child. Here's the health problem. Here's the symptom. Here's whatever," and the parent is living in that idea of, oh no, I have great health. The problem is here in the child. I understand that perception, I understand that thought, but as I'm saying, the younger and younger the child is when we're looking at the age ranges, the more often and the more profoundly that's a wrong assumption. We have, as I say, many invisible factors in the parents, including, and here's the thing, especially when you get into some of the deeper aspects of emotional health, much of that is by definition quite invisible to a person. As I said, that's why we can often perceive ourselves as, oh no, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I don't have issues, my life is happy, this and that is happening, in a positive way. But this whole invisible dimension um, is, as I say, it's invisible to ourselves, but it's certainly not invisible once we start looking at the health of a whole family. How are those invisible issues in a parent playing out in a child? I'll take an example. This is a slightly different side of this point. I'm kind of going off in a slightly different direction here, but I'll take a classic example. There's a lot of, you can say, mainstream parenting advice, which a lot of parents kind of just go ahead and follow it, but it's not really healthy for the child in the end. An example that I'm thinking of here, there's many, is this whole idea called sleep training. For the young infant, the young baby. This whole idea that if they're crying at night, in their crib or what have you, that there's a whole school of thought which advises the parent to just, oh, you have to let the baby cry it out, sleep training, so that they learn to fall asleep for themselves. They're not dependent on being in a parent's bed or being comforted or anything like that. Well, sounds logical at one level, but it's again, when I'm talking about this topic of an emotional health and what the often invisible issues are in the parents, this idea of sleep training is a terrible idea. We've seen the long-term bad effects of it, the short-term bad effects on the child, and it comes from what I'm talking about, these invisible these invisible, unseen elements in the parent's health, a parent who is truly fully healthy, emotionally healthy, will not accept such advice. An emotionally healthy person feels quite repulsed at that idea of letting the child cry themselves out. It's, as I say, it may sound logical, it does not feel right whatsoever to someone with a healthy emotional body. Okay, there's just one example, but to prove my larger point here, that these invisible issues in the parent, we see it all the time. They play out in the child's health. So as I say, when we get that worst case scenario of having this child delivered to us, here, fix them, like they're a piece of clothing being dropped off at the dry cleaner. We'll be back at the end of the day. Um, is terrible. The outcomes are terrible. You can't actually very easily get to the child's, the true roots of their health issues, if if you are not, oftentimes, if you are not treating the parents as well. Now, I just gave one example, but the broader point holds true. To the degree that parents aren't getting treated, we kind of end up with a big potential blockage in how well the child's treatment outcomes can be. So anyway, we can talk about a lot of these points. I just wanted to use the example. We can do a whole long lecture just on what I mentioned around sleep training, and other associated topics. But my bigger point here is why we especially wanted to emphasize the treatment discount in the case of family treatments, because that's where, not just for the basic economic reason, but for these deep medical reasons, that, yeah, we've seen this play out time and time again, where a parent is versus where a parent isn't getting treated can make so much difference in that outcome for the child. So anyways, that's the basic question on our family treatment plans. Yes, this is what we do. This, I gave you a bit of an idea of the structure. The details are just details, but the reason for it is so important. I just wanted to kind of make this point today. So that, as I say, that's the first question. If, as I said at the beginning, if you're watching live, you can certainly type in your question to the text box, or likewise, if you have a little bit more of a conversational topic you want to bring forward, I can put the link into the comment box here, and you could actually come and join me live on camera. We'd be side by side in the window here. Or likewise, if you are watching this as a replay, same thing, just type your question or comment in the box. And yeah, I will get that after the fact, and I will bring that to our next session. So yeah, if there are no questions today, in a moment I'll be signing off, but I will leave this session open for another at least 30 to 60 seconds, because as I recall, the way this technology works, there's a short delay between when I talk and when it actually comes out on your end, right? So whatever you're hearing now, I actually said 30 or 60 seconds in the past. We're doing a bit of a kind of a time travel here. So as I say, I'll leave this open for up to about a minute or so, in case somebody is here and in the middle of typing in their question. And otherwise, I will see you in the next session.